Milan right now with PIATEK.
He's going to overtake Inter.
Not overtake Inter, but
He tried to get you to say
but they're going to play really well. Now it's interesting to see how Cutrone fits into all this, what I
Yeah.
spoke about
And if he's gonna
Antonio.
get a lot of playing
But I
time.
think if PIATEK plays, you're Milan, you have to put the better player. I'm sorry, Antonio. I know you love Cutrone. PIATEK is better than Cutrone.
I think you already forgot about Coutinho.
Yeah, I know.
That's not true.
That's
That's not true.
You didn't say him once.
That's
your
not
whole
true.
speech.
Everybody keep fighting. We're rising, it's all worth it. Brothers and sisters, stay strong. In this booth is where we all belong. Different color, same game, we all worship.
What is up, everybody, and welcome back to the Serie A audio experience with IFTV. We got a separation over here. We got the happy side on one side and the sad side on the other. Antonio, all the years I've known you, for the past 8 years, I've never seen you smile so much in your life.
I always mind.
This was the greatest week of your life. Number one, Milan, they beat Napoli. Number two, Juventus got knocked out of the Coppa Italia. And then to top it off with the cherry, Inter got knocked out of the Coppa Italia. You couldn't have written a better script.
Listen, I wanted Inter to make it through because I wanted to face Inter on the semi-final. But
That's not what you were saying when
I
you were
was-
over here.
I was crying for Pete. Do you remember that?
Did you get the video I sent
Yeah,
you?
Pete.
I don't know.
I was
All I
seriously-
know is that Milan fans across the world, they started coming out of the sewers, the rabbit holes, wherever they came from, and they all of a sudden made their way to Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, the streets. You see all these guys in the middle of the street with the Milan stuff.
If we're coming out of the
You
rabbit
finally-
hole, you guys are getting
you
into
finally-
the rabbit hole right now.
You finally came out of your misery, and this week has been very positive for Milan fans. All of a sudden, they're all out and alive.
You're
Good to
right.
see you back.
I know. We had
We missed
Antonio.
you.
He was celebrating PIATEK. You're going to show everybody your new celebration?
after the podcast.
After the podcast, we'll show him your celebration.
Guys, bottom line is, this was not a joke. I predicted this long time ago.
What do you mean a long time ago?
I always said something.
Wait a second. I'm sorry to cut you off. I want to, since we're in the intro, guys, for anyone who does not know, our Instagram, at ItalianFootballTV. This is our new Instagram. Antonio, we don't need your paper. We already got it.
You sure?
The link is at the top of the description. Go over there and follow us. If you didn't know, our other one was taken down.
Is this running at the bottom of the
It's
screen?
running at the bottom. It's running at the top. It's running all across.
At Italian Football TV. I don't trust those guys. So
Very
you have to
good.
listen to me. At Italian Football TV.
What were you
okay?
going to say?
Okay, what I was saying is...
You called us a long time ago?
How many times did I say that Gasparini is the one of the top
Many times.
4 or 5 coaches in the
True.
world, not just in Italy, okay?
In the world, that's
Number
tough.
one. Number two.
right.
How many times did I say that Spalletti is overrated? How many times?
Many times.
Okay. How many times did I say that Sarri is overrated?
Many times.
Okay, so what's happening with Sarri too? Exactly the same thing that I predicted. There are some of those overplayed people that we give too much attention and we just put too much stacks on those guys, and they end up failing.
Let's start off from the beginning with the Coppa Italia. Don't go off to Sarri, because I got to tell you.
Now we're gonna go one by one. We're gonna analyze why
We are.
they're a bunch of failures. Those
And
guys.
I gotta say, this is what I was gonna bring up,
Yeah.
and I saw it in the comment section too. I know I sent it to the group message. Somebody said, you could laugh about Antonio and his crazy comments sometimes, but it seems like he's the genius behind this all, because he's been right. Antonio, I'm gonna shake your hand right now. Gasparini, absolutely right. This guy without a budget has been doing it against the top teams. Gattuso, you always stuck by Gattuso. Gattuso's pulling through right now. Spalletti, you always hit Spalletti. You always hit Allegri. Everything you hit this week, at least, has fallen into place. You hit a bullseye. I don't know if you play the lottery, because you're on a hot streak right
What
now.
What number come to you?
Well, you want a bunch of numbers?
Go play
Pete?
some lotto over here.
All right.
Give it out. So-
Listen, but one more thing. You ever had, forget about the coaching stuff. You ever had why I didn't want Higuain on the first place
Oh,
from
there
Juventus
we
coming
go.
to AC Milan?
Another one.
And now why Higuain is going to be making the fortune of Chelsea. In other words, it's going to screw them up more than what they already are screwed up. Okay?
And the guy that you brought in,
Which one?
PIATEK.
Okay, well, that I was not 100%, on board with this, but I said anybody by Higuain and anybody that as long as they don't come from Juventus.
Wow.
Okay, we can take somebody that comes from Inter. I will
you-
take Icardi
you
and
said you wanted
Bandanara at
Dybala.
any time.
You said you
I
wanted
want
Dybala.
Dybala.
So that's from
yeah,
Juventus.
but Dybala is not an epic camper over there. I didn't want people that they wanted to stay in Juventus and that were forced out. Higuain didn't want to leave.
Well, how
That's
many
why I
people-
didn't want this guy
How
here
many
over.
people would ever be happy to go from Juventus, who's winning the league,
There are plenty.
to Milan?
Plenty.
Okay, maybe
Plenty.
No, not even him. Anyway, let's start off with the first game, with the first Coppa Italia match. We'll say Fiorentina-Roma. We'll start off with that
Alright.
before we get into it. Surprise, an upset, 7-1 in favor of Fiorentina.
No one
We
could have
know-
guessed this.
We know that Roma was not going through a great moment. We've talked, I don't know how long, about Di Francesco, the amount that he's struggling with this Roma, the way that Roma are inconsistent. But this is a new level of inconsistent. 7-1 to Fiorentina. A Fiorentina that's very young, that's also shown signs of inconsistency, but led with Federico Chiesa and Muriel, who were tearing apart one by one the Roma defense like they were playing in the park. That's what they did. Chiesa, 3 goals. Simeone, 2 goals. Muriel, 1 goal. What am I at? 6? And I don't remember. Benassi, 7 goals.
Was Manolas playing?
Yeah, he was playing. The entire defense was playing.
What was he playing with?
Fazio.
God,
yeah, I
what a
don't know.
disgrace, guys.
Did you guys
It
catch
was
the
as a
game?
whole team.
I didn't get to watch. I just get to watch some highlights, but I didn't.
The highlights probably lasted 20 minutes with all the goals.
Oh
over.
my God!
Well, it's just starting off with Roma. What is going on? It's a complete debacle, and now it's just the question as when is Di Francesco gonna be sacked? I think after this game, I'm surprised he's still the coach of Roma. 1, 2, there was a lot of problems with Roma on the field. It looks like they completely gave up. The defense was completely disorganized. The line was just so important, being able to maintain you have the high defensive line and be able to have Muriel and Chiesa just easily make one simple run, one simple pass, and get through and score a goal. It's just
They beat anyone with speed.
it was just pathetic. Then also Roma himself, between Cristante and Zeko, there was problems. There was fighting going on
In the field too.
on the field.
Dzeko
And
got sent off.
Zeko spits at a referee, gets sent off. This
Oh,
is
boy.
terrible behavior. Something that's really a disgrace to Roma, but also Zeko, the type of player he is. I think I consider him to be a not necessarily a world class player, but close to it. You know, he's a great striker.
Is the suspension going to be
I'm
carried on in
surprised.
the Campionato, or is going to stay within
Just
the Coppa?
Coppa Italia. They
Just
said
Coppa Italia.
for next season, it's going to be 2 games
Okay.
of
Yeah.
Coppa
He got a
Italia.
$10,000
Did he
fine,
come out with
$10,000
anything?
fine. Not that I
Not
saw.
that he saw.
Roma
So
didn't
that's-
say.
that's-
Roma didn't say about the spitting incident. They just said. I
like
just
Jake.
It looked like
talking
he
back.
spit on him.
It did.
It
look
did.
a lot
It
of
was
people
very
said-
clean.
But
It was
Roma
very
just
clean.
said talking back to the
They
referee.
said language. I think
Bad
it was language.
behavior.
Either way, whatever it was.
You know, just
Yeah.
but just
Wow.
the character.
I like Zeko. I feel bad.
It kind of showed how Roma is melting apart,
Yeah.
you know, and just falling apart. Because even if you're one of your better players, is just
Pete, was the
As a
writing on the
senior
wall
player.
for something like this to happen?
What do you
How
mean?
did I mean, what predicted it? Nobody was about to predict this collapse. I mean, I understand you tie the game 3-3 while you're winning 3-0 in Bergamo and all the stuff. But was this a writing that somebody was expecting some collapse of this magnitude from Roma?
To me, it's incredible. And like you were saying about Di Francesco, Pallotta's not happy. He hasn't been happy for a few months with Di
Yeah, for a
Francesco. If we believe or if we listen to all the reports in Italy, they say that the only thing that's holding Di Francesco by a string is Monchi. And even Monchi is getting looked at right now because of how badly he's keeping Di Francesco and how poorly all of Roma is playing. They say, the newspapers say, that Pallotta wanted Di Francesco sacked right after the match. But Monchi said, listen, give him until after Milan.
I don't think he's going to be sacked, to be honest with you.
What he said, they said, give him till after Milan on Sunday, see what he does. They say that Monchi doesn't even want to sack him no matter what happens after Milan. They say that Pallotta's patience is run out, and if he doesn't get a result against Milan, Di Francesco's out.
Does he have the players back, this guy here? Di Francesco. I think I
his
like him.
players are
I think he's a
there.
great coach. I don't understand why.
I don't think we could argue about the players not being there.
I don't
They
even know,
played-
to be honest.
What do you mean? The defense was there. The midfield's there.
no,
the
in the
attack is
sense
there.
that do they
Are the
have his
players
back? Do they have his
psychological?
Oh,
back
do
in
they
the
have his
locker
back?
room?
Yes
In
or
the
no?
locker
The
room.
locker room.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, I don't. It's hard to tell.
I mean, with that result, didn't look like it'll be. It looks like they
Yeah,
gave up
I think
completely.
just giving
His
up,
Champions
and then
League is
also
taken
you're winning 3-0 the last week, so it's like been a terrible week, and then now leading up to was it Milan Roma or Milan?
It's
No,
Roma
Roma
Milan.
Milan.
Roma Milan.
Which
You
is
know,
going to be bad for us, Pete. It's going to be bad. I'll tell you why.
No, I know, but I'm saying I just think Roma is in a point where there's not really anyone out there unless you're going to spend big money. Because if Conte is going to,
Yeah, that's what I'm
Conte's
saying.
demanding big money. He's not going to come in
He's not gonna-
and
yeah,
going to
exactly.
take the
He's
same
not gonna
salary
go
as
to
Di
Roma.
Francesco.
He's not going to
So
Roma.
Roma's whole idea of trying to save money or get these young players and stuff like that. Plus, I don't think Conte will come in these terms, in the half season. They still have Champions League to play, so that might also play into effect that, they're going to ride with Di Francesco.
They're going to
because
keep with Di Francesco until
stuff,
the end of
but
the season. I don't believe that Di Francesco.
I don't
will
know.
fix that.
I don't know about
Pallotta's
that.
But the thing
I
is,
don't know
I
about
agree
that.
with you. I don't think that they should sack him.
Absolutely not.
Just because of the fact that who you're going to get.
That's true.
I mean, the available options. Paulo Sosa is the available option.
Please.
Can Paulo Sosa? I know that they say if you sack a coach, you bring somebody in. It builds a locker room together. I don't believe it.
But are these results acceptable?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yo,
Listen,
lose-
you
I
changing the
understand
coach.
you
Those
lose-
are the
They're
players.
not,
Yo,
but I think,
7-1.
but how many coaches have Roma sacked?
No,
how
I
many
agree
times have
with you.
Roma gone through
No,
a
I
coach?
Not
agree
that
with
many.
you, but-
Yes,
Not-
they
no,
have.
not-
They have
not-
gone
not-
through in the past 8 years, 10 years.
Rudy
They-
Garcia,
a lot of coaches.
Zeman,
But also, like we
Spalletti.
spoke about this.
Spalletti.
We spoke about this inside the summer. In the summer, we said that Roma's going to struggle.
Yeah.
It didn't take a genius to say that the players that they were getting for the ambitions of a Roma fan who a few years ago they were finishing second place. And then you're performing like this and selling your best players and reinvesting in young players. What do you think is going to happen? I'm not saying that 7-1 is acceptable. I'm not trying to say 7-1 is acceptable. But you got to be realistic at a point. And to me, sacking Di Francesco, I don't know how much it solves. I'm not inside Roma. I don't really know what's going on, and none of us do. But from an outside perspective, I understand why Roma fans can be frustrated and they want some kind of change. I just don't see that as the best option.
Like Mike said, the fact that these results are unacceptable, no matter what, even if your team is not a second place team, you cannot lose 7-1. You cannot be winning a game 3-0 and a half and then tie a game 3-3, even though you're playing in a tough stadium like Bergamo versus Atalanta. Something needs to be done. Maybe the fact that they don't see a good enough coach that's going to be able to come in and change anything. But sometimes you'll see, like, even in the teams that are struggling with relegation zone, when you put in someone new, it's a new face, it's a new way of doing stuff, and the players are more on their toes, more,
It's like a fresh start.
yeah,
I
just
don't
wanting
like
to
that.
change
Isn't
something.
Totti gonna be pulling some
They
strings?
said that even Totti at this point is.
But
not-
I thought that he went to Florence. I was reading. So Totti's traveling with the team to.
No, he was there. I mean, we saw him. We saw.
I'm
Monchi.
surprised. Totti and Di Francesco, they're good friends. I don't
Yeah,
understand.
but it's not about friendship.
Yeah,
at
at
the
the
end
end
of
it's
the day.
business. Look at how
they're
they're
under a lot of
performing.
pressure.
Yeah.
Pallotta's under a lot of pressure. Monchi's under a lot of pressure. The entire team is under a lot of pressure.
If this can serve as a comfort for Roma. Juventus loses 3-0 against Atalanta, so you can have a
that's-
very
But
you can have a
you're right.
spectacular season,
that's
and you
without
can have a
doubt.
bad
No,
day.
but the thing is,
That's a different
it's
case,
not
right,
about
Mike?
the thing is not about the tie with Atalanta, right?
No,
it's
100%.
more the 7-1 loss to Fiorentina and the way that you tie versus Atalanta, because Atalanta's a good enough team.
He's saying
But-
Juventus even lost to Atalanta.
Yes,
No,
the
but that's a different
surprises
case.
inside Coppa
But that's
yeah,
a
but you're winning
completely
3-0.
different case.
That's managing a game.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Mike.
No, I was gonna say how you can't bring up Juventus and a team that hasn't lost in the Serie A yet to bring
Right.
some of the Roma. You can't drop a lead 3-0 and then back to back lose 7-1. I don't care if you're playing the best team in the world, or playing away. There's just no.
Roma's
choice.
done this before.
They look
It's
like
not the first time. So yes,
That bad?
yes, Manchester United
What
and Bayern.
bad?
Munich.
Yeah, but
How
those are
far
Saying
was
that's
that
the best
ago?
players and the
League.
best team in the
How
world.
long
You
was
can't
that
do that.
ago?
Yes, it does happen.
You know
Okay,
what's
but
this
it
going to
does happen. It has
guys,
happened to Roma
guys, this is
before.
what is going to happen. Just hear me out.
Yeah.
Roma is not going to sack Di Francesco for now because of the Champions League and whatever they have still going on.
Yeah.
And for the fact that Marco, rightly said that there is nobody available right now that they can take the gobble and they can just say, okay, listen, I'm taking over. Don't worry. I guarantee you, like Mihailovic now is putting his neck on the line. Just say, okay, I'm going to try to save Bologna. Okay. This is not happening in Roma, number one. Number two, they're going to find some motivator, whether it's going to be Totti getting into the locker room or whether it's going to be somebody else with Totti getting into the locker room to motivate the guys. I say, listen, guys, I want you to stay behind the coach. He means the best. He's got this guy here. He's been wearing our jersey even while he was coaching Sassuolo. This guy means a lot to us. We want you to pay attention to the coach. We want you to put down a spectacular show against AC Milan.
I think it's a
And
little
it
bit
doesn't
past
work
this.
that way.
This is not a
You
high
think so?
school
I think so.
class.
I have news for
I'm
you.
scared that it
Watch
is.
they don't win against AC Milan Sunday.
Ooh.
Wait,
You're
what are
saying,
you saying?
you're saying
You
watch
said watch them
they
win
win
or
or
they
don't
don't
They
win?
will win. They might win.
They might
They
have
might
to.
I mean, they do need a reaction, and Di Francesco is playing for his.
Yeah.
I will
his
be
first
happy.
career
Listen,
for his bench.
being an
But
AC Milan fan, I mean, I don't wish anybody bad. I wish we can go Sunday and win
What
in
a nice
Rome.
guy you are.
And win in Rome.
What a nice
but,
guy.
But I will be happy right now. I will sign for 1 point. If I go Sunday to
Wow.
go to play in Roma,
You
I will
think
take
so?
my
With-
one. I'll take 1 point.
With all that's going in favor
What
of
is your
Milan
best
and,
friend?
and Roma
Hey.
like
No, he's saying
collapsing.
the same. He's saying to save Di Francesco.
Yeah, we understand.
No,
saying-
not
no,
to
no,
save
he's
Francesco.
saying- he's
I
saying
know that
that-
Roma is gonna have a reaction
Yeah, exactly.
so
He's
strong
saying that he
that
can
it will
sign
be a
from there.
miracle for us. I will sign right now if we take
That
1
was mind
point.
games, I see.
Mind game.
I
Well,
got,
how
let, me
about-
ask you, let me ask you guys a question. Let me ask you guys a question. Do you think that his results last year, Di Francesco's results, mainly in the Champions League, with a proper team, we can say, should save him or give him more lee room for what's happening right now?
I will. They'll save him.
What do you think, Peter?
No, every year is different.
Yeah.
If you're not getting the best out of your team, your job is to motivate your team and get the best out of your team. If you're not
Maybe if
doing
you-
that, there's something wrong.
Maybe if he won the Champions League, but he went far. But you can't just base off the
Peter,
past.
Mike,
Yeah.
Marco said it right. They sold the best players. that
Speaking
they
to the
had.
mic. Hunter.
Okay.
They sold the best player,
Yeah.
right? The best goalkeeper,
Yep.
none on the world, but they sold
Yeah.
one of the
Yeah.
best
Alisson,
goalkeepers.
of course.
Nainggolan,
Alisson,
Nainggolan,
Nainggolan, Salah,
Salah.
that the year
Yeah.
before, and all of those
Stroman.
things. You taking 5 or 6 of your best franchise players. Those are all franchise players. De Rossi, don't forget that he's not playing. De Rossi has been a big question mark. De Rossi was about to retire. He's been forced into the stay over there just to show some leadership and
Their
you know,
entire
keep
midfield
keep
is
it
different.
together.
But their entire midfield is different.
But as a coach, you use what you got. I understand that stuff happened.
know.
It's been happening.
But
You
it-
can't use that as an excuse.
No,
though.
no, but I think that we just have a culture of you. I'm not trying to stick up for a loss, but I'm just trying to play the devil's
Yeah, I
advocate,
get what
which
you're
is
saying.
I don't think you're going to get a better coach right now, and then you're going to have to start from zero again. Where if you stick with Di Francesco at least for 6 months, it's kind of like the Chelsea fans calling for Sarri to be sacked right now.
Yeah.
I find it ridiculous.
Listen,
But
I find it
what if,
ridiculous.
what if he
Marco,
did lose a
wait,
locker
wait,
room, though?
Peter.
Then there's no point
I
of
mean,
keeping him.
Mike.
But we don't know that. None of us here know that.
That's what I'm
None of us here
saying.
know
What if
that.
he did? That's what I'm saying. That's
we're
a possibility.
we're just going based off what we
Yeah,
have in front of us.
Listen to me. B, tell me if you agree with me. Sarri has been. What's happening with Sarri right now is pretty much almost a parallel to what's happening to Di Francesco.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So
Not to the
if you
extent,
look at
I
the Roma,
disagree.
if you look at the Roma position right now, they're still 1 point behind the Champions League. They're still 1 point behind AC Milan. So why are we crying all of these things? We're talking about the Coppa Italia. They had a disaster game. Fine. We don't know what to put. We don't want to throw
1 point.
all an entire team into the garbage just because they had a very, very bad day. I know it's lack of leadership. I know it's a lot of people. It's very disrespectful against the Tifosi. I was watching some TV shots the other day. The Pullman gets inside the Trigoria instead
Yeah.
of the player coming back with the train and all the stuff. I know
Manolas
everybody's
even cursed out a fan.
Listen
The
to me.
tensions are high.
That's what I'm saying.
Tensions
I
are
know
very
everybody's upset, but let's not forget this is not. They didn't lose into the Champions League. They're still running.
But they were in a group that you couldn't fail.
Wow,
It was
they're
very
still
difficult to
running
fail.
into the Champions League, and they are 1 point away to make it into the
Yeah.
Zona Champions on the Serie A.
But last season they were third place, contending for second, and now they're fifth place
But
in
we
Europa
just
League,
said that they
contending
sold
for
a lot
fourth.
of their players.
I understand, but that's been the reason. You know what I'm
Okay,
saying?
let's move on. Let's move on. We talked about this for how long? There's no
Right.
point to keep going. We're
should-
beating a dead horse
Yeah,
right now.
but we should also jump on Fiorentina, man. With
Yeah.
the addition to Luis Muriel, Fiorentina look like
Their-
they're on another
their attack is
cylinder.
unstoppable.
I mean, it's
Looks
really
like.
nice to see.
Yeah.
All young, all fast.
Yep.
I love Federico Chiesa. You still said, "Oh, I'm not sure
Him
about
too.
him. Not
Yeah,
sure about
I'm
him."
on the ball. I don't think
I'll
he's
tell
that
you right
consistent.
I'm not
now.
sold
with
on
you
him.
guys.
Inter
I'm with
sells
you.
Perisic. They should get Chiesa, and you have Chiesa, Politano,
Wait,
Icardi.
Chiesa, where's he gonna play?
On the left.
You're gonna put him on the
Perisic
left,
is
even though
off.
he's
He cuts in.
usually
No,
plays on the
Chiesa's
right.
great there.
No, he plays both
Chiesa,
on right.
The thing that I love about Chiesa and the thing that I think we've been saying, and you and I have agreed on, is that he just doesn't have that fear. And he's like, you even see him, how he chips the goalkeeper, how he chips Olsen. He's got confidence behind him. And I really appreciate how he's not scared to take on his defender. Just turned 21 years old. And like Peter said, this Italian, this young team of Fiorentina, even has 3 goals. He goes up, dedicates it to Astori. It was a very emotional game for them. And I'm really happy for Fiorentina and for Pioli too. I think Pioli Pioli bounced around a lot, and I think he's found a great spot at Fiorentina right now.
Let's start from Pioli and let's go to the Inter's game because I want to bring Pioli into the discussion of Inter. So what happened with Inter on the Coppa Italia?
Where's
He
the
was
Pioli?
waiting for
Where's the Pioli? Start with
One
Pioli.
One second. Okay, Pioli
Give credit to Fiorentina.
Wait a moment.
Okay.
Pioli was Inter's coach before Spalletti.
Yes.
Okay. So they sacked Pioli to bring this Spalletti, this guru, with all of this theory with the books and all the stuff. He sees everything.
So you never liked Spalletti ever? Even when he was with Roma?
No, I never liked him. In Rome, I actually learned not to hate this guy here.
That's
guy.
where his
Yeah,
hate
say that
came
Totti
from, because of
thing.
Totti.
Yeah,
That's where
because
it
he
came from. I remember
disrespected
when
and
that happened.
humiliated somebody that is an icon of the sport and soccer, especially soccer. He's one of the top 3 players we ever had in Italy. If it's not one of the top 2,
Yeah,
maybe.
I understand.
Okay, so.
But also, you can agree that Totti is also a problem in that sense.
No.
In the locker room.
No, it's not.
And Roma broke the record
Because-
for the most points, so he shouldn't get hated on so much about this.
Anyway, continue your point.
My point is this. Inter went from Pioli, that now is doing extremely well in Florence, in Fiorentina.
Not necessarily.
Yeah, it's all right. Hey,
Now
they're getting
he's
close.
starting
They're
to.
close. They're close. They didn't spend all the money that Inter spent. No. Okay, so
Milan spend more.
Pioli's doing okay with Fiorentina. Okay, Spalletti, what he does before even he ends his season with Roma, he jumps for coaching for Inter Milan. Not because they were just after him. He's a mediocre coach. The guy. Listen to me, Inter. I spoke with my friend Giocolino before I came over here. I said, Joe, give me a good reasons why Inter went after Spalletti when Spalletti didn't do well in Roma.
What did he tell you?
Okay, he told me, he said, Antonio, this guy has never won anything except for Russia. Okay, and soccer in Russia doesn't mean a lot.
No, that's
okay?
true. That's true.
And
I'm
he said it's not a winner. Okay, they brought him in trying to build up.
But
the
that's
team.
the point.
But-
Inter at that point was not able to just say, okay, we're going to go to win. It's to stabilize. What he did last year was something that was very hard for Inter for the past 5 years. Inter wasn't even able to break into 4th place. And we were always this close or that close. He actually was able, even though he did it at the last day with a little bit of luck. I understand that.
A little bit of luck.
Listen, I understand that. But the team was there. The team was in the position to win the game and go through. And he did it. This year he's having some problems. Now with the transfer market, it's creating a lot of problems in the locker room. And you can tell he's stressed. He even came out after this game and was upset that Inter and Marotta, they were talking about 12 players leaving by the end of the season and this guy out and that guy out. So it created a lot of tension in the locker room. It wasn't just Spalletti's fault because I agree with that you shouldn't be talking about players leaving or coming in or different stuff. You should keep it private because that's the best way to handle things.
Which is very strange.
Which is true. And Spalletti's job, unfortunately, I feel by the end of the season has come to an end, even before, because he lost control. He doesn't have the power. The people that are above him do not have confidence in him. And once that happens, then your time there has come to an end or should come to an end.
What's your reasoning behind that? Why do you think that the people above him lost confidence over this?
Not just this game. It's been the whole season that's been up and down. I mean,
Yeah.
we started off. We got 2 points versus Sassuolo and Torino in total. Okay, and that out of how many points did we say? 12 points. Ridiculous.
Let him go.
Okay.
Marotta comes in the middle of the year. He has a whole new idea of how to run his team. It changes everything, and rightfully so. He has his own coach or own players that he wants in mind. The problem with Icardi, the problem with Perisic, the problem with Candreva now, the problem with everything seems to
Nainggolan.
be everything's Spalletti wanting Nainggolan, selling Zaniolo. This guy is not performing,
And the list
injured,
goes on and on and on and on.
etc., etc. Dalbert being a bust.
Lautaro Martinez coming
Versailles injured. So
Right.
there's been a lot of problems. And it seems like he's just not able to distract the problems from his players. He's not good with the responsibility and handling these problems, and it's shown to the players where the past 3 games we weren't able to score a goal in the play. In open play.
I saw that
in
with
the last minute we get the penalty. We should have nothing to
But
do
look
with
his body language too, Peter. It's a disgrace. The guy just goes, he makes it sound like
Oh, but that's the point. It's been to a point where he just doesn't know what else to do. He's perplexed.
It's lack of leadership, number one. That's what I think. Lack of leadership, number one. Number two, not knowing exactly how to behave and what you transmit to the players. Have you seen Ancelotti doing anything like this, doing the sign of the cross and all the stuff?
No,
he might just...
What's wrong with that?
Easy. Let me just go on with this thing here.
Okay.
This guy here is been a plug that Inter picked up from Roma, and they plugged the hole that they took what's his name, Pioli, and Pioli had to go to
Pioli's,
Florence. Okay. This guy's a plug. It's not a coach that he can bring Inter to a high level.
But he's done his job already.
What job?
He's solidified
What job?
fourth spot. We're in 3rd place. Champions League
Antonio,
is
we
in.
never said he was a world
You
class
are in
coach.
3rd place now. I got news for
We're
you.
gonna go to 5th.
You're going to go to 5th or 6th maybe.
No.
No way.
Listen to
I
me.
don't see it.
Icardi hasn't
I
scored
don't
in
see
a long
it.
time.
Right now,
Yeah, what do you think about Icardi? in that
Icardi
squad?
he hasn't scored in a long time. The guy is very unhappy. I saw the game yesterday. He must have touched 2-3 balls.
Yeah.
You're telling me that Inter doesn't have a build-up to serve
well,
Icardi?
this is the point that I was making. I said the way that we've been playing has been really poor, and even the games that we have won, we haven't been able to really dominate or create a lot of chances. Icardi should be seeing a lot more balls, and instead he only gets the few touches that he gets during the game.
And if he comes,
And he doesn't even
come back to touch the
But
ball.
even when he comes back, he doesn't come back often enough. It's a lack of the game. You don't see the right runs. Even Icardi sometimes he's a different type of player than maybe a Milito that would make these crazy runs or be able to have the vision to make the runs. He's a guy, uomo d'aria. He can score when the ball's in the box. Outside, he's a little shaky.
Marco, the writing is
But-
on the wall. I think Icardi is going to go.
Listen, I wanted to comment on Spalletti and what you guys were talking about. And I think the one thing that we've always said since the beginning of the season and even last year was that Spalletti, I agree that he's not a winner, or he's never proved that he's a winner or a world-class coach. And I think Peter has said that multiple times before. But I do think that he did do his job getting 4th spot. I think that he helped Inter get that 4th spot by being a coach who can finish in the top 4, where Pioli, to me, was not a coach that would be able to get you to the top 4. So I agree on that sense. But I do believe that this Inter is growing away from Spalletti in the sense that they're becoming a bigger squad that needs a coach who can handle these kinds of moments. So it's not to take away from Spalletti, but it's just to say that the level is kind of outgrowing where he necessarily should be, if you know what I mean.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
But
perfectly
I don't think he can handle all of this problem at the same time.
On the other side, I want to give credit to Lazio, who came out and played a fantastic match. We know that this game means a lot for Lazio. Number one, it's a great opportunity for Lazio to win a trophy this year. Number two, Lazio is another club that's been hit with a lot of up and downs, especially with Inzaghi. They're a club who wanted revenge for what happened last year. And I think that they came out and they played a great match. And I think that they were very unfortunate to even be up 1-0 because they had plenty of chances where Saicedo and a few other, I don't remember exactly who took those shots on top of the bat. Immobile. And then Inter got that penalty in the 125th minute, blah, blah, blah. And I want to give credit to Lazio for being able to pull through and win this match. And Inzaghi, who was sent off, and we saw the image of him even inside the stands going nuts. Very passionate coach who transmits his passion to the players. And I think that this is a very, very, very important win morally for Lazio. It's a game that will get you going.
Yeah, and I even think, just to say, this game is not the determining factor of Spalletti's thing. It's the past,
The full picture.
Yeah, full picture. Lazio, by far, one of the teams I enjoy watching with Atalanta. They play great football.
Milan.
I think they're very balanced because they have Lucas Leiva in the midfield that's able to clean up everything. Luis Alberto is the trequartista that has a lot of fancy footwork. Milinkovic-Savic looks like he's coming along, and he's gonna have. I think he can score maybe 5 to 6 goals till the end of the season. And Ciro Immobile, he's been on a little bit of a drought, but he's scored an important goal, and I think he's always a lively player. Lazio were unlucky to not get any points versus Juventus, which is the best team in Serie A, and they outplayed them. They outplayed Inter. I think They're going to get the 4th spot. Sorry, Antonio. And I think that Lazio right now, if everything is going with all the players going at the right time, they can really end the season.
I think that's well said. That Lazio play great football and they play great matches, but they're never able to really handle them in the proper way. And I think that they had the opportunity and they took it.
Mike,
What do you think, Anto?
Yeah.
What do you think about Lazio?
I wanted to see the formation that Inter put on the field. These guys, they put the first team on the
4-2-3.
field.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
They
did.
put
No,
the
it was the
first
first
team.
team.
They
Yeah, it
went
was.
over there.
Andanovic saved them again.
They
Yeah, of
went
course,
in
right?
all the way to
Yeah, they
win
wanted
the
to win.
game.
This was an
100%,
objective that they had to
100%.
Okay,
win.
but
No,
Lazio,
you're right.
if you look at on the other hand, Lazio didn't have the
Not true.
No, they
Not
did.
true.
They
Not true.
did.
They had the starters. They had
maybe
all the starters.
9 out of 11.
They had all the
wasn't
starters.
starting? Everybody was
They had
starting.
all the
Right here.
starters.
Give me the 11 of Lazio.
Strakosha, he starts.
Starter.
Acerbi starts.
Starts.
Radu starts. Wallace starts.
Yeah.
Savic, Leva, Lulic,
All start.
Marusic,
No, they're
Correa.
starting. They're
Yeah.
All the
starting.
starters. It was a,
Correa's not a starter.
He's
oh,
new.
come on.
He's new, though.
Get out of here.
He's
This is a
a-
starter.
I know
He's
what's
a starter.
okay. All right.
No, they both had their starters. They both had their
So,
starters.
my take.
Everyone this week played
My
their
take
starters.
is this. I agree with Peter. He said to me, sorry, they might take the 4th place. Yeah, they might take the 4th place because Inter is going to go fifth. Not because AC Milan.
Well
so,
said,
Pete,
well said.
on that we agree. Okay?
I gotta
So,
say,
what
do you wanna say about Lazio?
Lazio, they played so fantastic, and I want to go with Peter says because I agreed with you for the prediction. I think they're going 4th. I think they're tied for 7th right
I
now.
thought you were my friend, Mike.
What do you mean?
I'm
Maybe
just
he
being
said
honest.
I
that
thought
Inter's
Inter's going to go down
out.
to 5th.
Maybe that's what
I
he
just
said.
said, I just
Peter's
said,
gonna be out?
I don't know what's gonna happen. I'm just saying Lazio are gonna go 4th, and I feel like they, like you said, they played so well, but they didn't get rewarded for it. So I do feel like the second half of the season, where a lot of the players that didn't come up a lot, like Savic, Leva, like they did last season, I feel like this moral win, like Marco was talking about, is really gonna help them gear up. And Inzaghi's passion is gonna give them that extra point of going 4th place.
So
I feel
we've
like they're
hit
gonna
we've
go.
hit all of our points so far.
Yeah.
And before we get to the top of Antonio's great week, let's go to the one right before it. The second one they was happy. Atalanta Juventus.
Before I go to that, I just want to say Lazio is the only Italian team that's playing in 3 fronts in
Three
Serie A.
competitions.
Coppa Italia, Serie A, and Europa League.
Yeah.
Serie A. What do you mean Serie A?
I'm
No,
just
they're
saying
playing.
they're playing.
Playing Serie A. But they want to win
That-
the-
no.
That's only Italian team, though.
So let's go on to Juventus Atalanta.
Yeah.
3-0 Atalanta beat down against
I'm
Juventus.
surprised you're the one that started this.
What do you mean? No, I got a lot to say about this. I got a lot to say. I think Juventus, we saw against Lazio, the worst performance that I've seen from Juventus all season. And I didn't think it could get worse until you go to Bergamo and you watch this performance. Absolutely disgusting performance from Juventus side. Let's handle Juventus first, and then we'll go to Atalanta, right? So we're on the same page. From Juventus side, starting the first team, Bonucci obviously out. Chiellini gets hurt right away. Blah blah blah. The defense of Juventus is atrocious. Rugani on that goal. I mean, I don't know what he's doing, but the whole attitude, I think, of this team is something that we've seen before and we've noted, where there's a sense of they don't play great football. They don't play united football. There's no tactics behind them. It's a bunch of great players who go out on the field and they win. That's what Juventus have been. And we've constantly said, yeah, they don't play good football, but who cares because they win. And right, and that's we've always said, but they win and it sweeps it under the table, right? This was one of those games that it does not get swept under the table. Performance was not there. The result was not there.
Good.
Nothing
I love
was
that.
there.
Oh, boy.
And I think that's for Juventus, that's built to be fighting on all fronts. It's the first time in 4 years that they're not in the Coppa Italia. They're not going to win the Coppa Italia. Extremely disappointed as a Juventus fan in this squad, in their reaction and in their attitude. I thought that when the going got tough in this match, they didn't perform. I thought the midfield was terrible. I thought every single player besides Szczesny was good.
What about CR7?
Horrible. Horrible. No, not there.
He didn't play?
Who?
Cristiano Ronaldo was not playing?
He was
No, he was
on the-
playing, but he wasn't playing at
he
the
wasn't
same
there.
time.
He was on the stand.
Invisible.
Mentally, he
Invisible.
wasn't there.
Invisible.
That's what I
Yeah.
meant.
boy.
And very, very disappointing. I know that there are games that you lose, and this happens. Obviously, no team is ever going to go undefeated. But in a competition that you do value, like the Coppa Italia, I don't think that performance merits an acceptable from Juventus, a team of the caliber of Juventus. And the arrogance from the team annoys me so much.
Let me
Let's
just
stay on the Juventus front before we go on to Atalanta.
Let me just add on top of you where you said their mentality and towards the end. Because like, even against Lazio, how we're talking about, even Peter said they weren't playing good, but they fought in the second half. Juventus, they did not look hungry. They didn't look that fino alla fine that they always have if they're ever down in the first half. They come out second half, go attack. They just didn't look like it. It looked like Gasperini just knew what he was doing. He did his homework and stopped every single attack. And I feel like they weren't challenged that much. Atalanta wasn't challenged. Even when they're up 2 goals, I feel like they were still attacking. They didn't play all defense. And it was disappointing and very strange from a team like Juve to do. Especially because they tried resting players in the beginning. We saw Pjanic play. There's a few other things we could talk about.
Without Pjanic on the field, Juventus midfield is no.
Yeah,
this is the Juventus
100%.
0.
And De Sciglio, let me just say, Chiellini got off injured in the 20-something minute. They put De Sciglio as a center back with Rugani, and that was a terrible mistake.
The way Rugani is watching,
did not look like Juventus.
I don't remember who took the shot. The way he's watching Papu Gomez, I'll just say Castagna, right?
Castagna, the first one.
Is defending 101 is to pressure your man.
Bad.
As a center back, you pressure the guy who's got the ball. But he said, go take a nice shot.
But then again, Cancelo did mess up the whole thing.
Cancelo messed up. Everyone messed up. Stay on the
Yeah.
Juventus side. What do you think?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. First of all, congratulations to Juventus. I'm so happy that they lost.
Why congratulations? You mean Atalanta?
It's about time. All right. It's about time.
Okay.
My question is this. You guys, you seem to be a little bit more upset because they lost on a quarterfinal of the Coppa Italia. Would you be so upset if this was a regular game during the Campionato where, the 3 points, they're not as important as the one of a direct elimination from the Coppa Italia? I guess you will be a little differently disappointed right now, right?
For sure.
Okay, number one. Number two, I think I see the writing on the wall. Some of those players, they're mentally tired. Okay, they've been tasked for the winning all the time, and you can get into a day where 5 or 6 of them they just can have a bad day, and that's what happened. Okay, couple of injuries on between Chiellini and Bonucci and all the stuff. Rugani is still a little green.
Benatia left.
To be running the Benatia is not really a factor.
No, he's
he
not
left
there.
though.
He's not
He
there.
left.
Right.
He
So-
went to the Middle East. Yeah.
What I'm saying to you now, you're going to be facing Simeone. Simeone doesn't slip up a lot. If you're going to win against Atletico, you're going to really put a big performance over there. Okay, those guys they know how to defend, and they have speed. They have Griezmann over there. They have plenty of weapons. So you're going to have to bring your A game over there, not just during the Campionato, the Serie A. You're going to bring the A game of the Champions League. Yeah. So, and if this performance is it's an indication of what Juventus is going to be doing for the champions, I think Allegri's got plenty of work to do on the locker rooms, especially
You're right,
on the defensive hand over there.
Yeah.
I can understand what you were saying, but I don't think the caliber of players that Juventus has, they're not going to slip up and have such a dismal, game like they did versus Atalanta. Yeah. They might lose in a 2 games versus Atletico, but not because they do so poorly like this game. If we continue with Juventus pretty much shot themselves in the foot. 2 goals were very
within
bad
like
errors.
a minute too of each other.
Yeah. No, besides that, I'm saying the Cancelo, he's trying to dribble over there. He loses the ball right in the middle and they score. Even the Zapata, you can say the ball bounces. They're not able to clear it. Zapata scores. The pass back by De Sciglio. So they pretty much shot themselves in the foot. Mistakes that you don't see Juventus make, they made. Chiellini out. Chiellini is the real warrior for Juventus defense.
Captain,
He's the one that runs the show back there. When you lose him, it's a problem. So they better hope that Chiellini gets into shape and he's ready for
15 days
for Champions League.
15
Okay,
15 days.
He's
As
apparently
long as
going
he's
to
ready-
Between him and Bonucci, they might not have
okay.
the defenders.
That's
Both of
one.
them
has
are
20
Yeah.
days.
Bonucci
running
out
close.
already hurts because they don't have a real
Good
substitute.
center back.
Rugani, when Chiellini's there, he's better. When there's no one there, he lacks leadership. He's not able to control the defense. And I was surprised they let Benatia go without really securing a great defender. Cáceres comes in, but I'm not sold on him.
Yeah,
He's a
okay.
good
That's
defender,
fair.
but he's not at that level.
The top level, yeah.
Yeah,
should not be the
'cause, for example,
replacement
look
for
at
Juventus.
Which is why he
look at
didn't come in
Inter.
either.
Look at Inter. They have Skriniar, De Vrij, and Miranda.
Those are 3 great center
These are
backs.
center backs that you say.
And
Okay.
who's
Juventus
coming
have
in the
2 good
summer?
center
I'll
backs.
take Miranda. I'll take
Okay,
Wait,
of
one
course.
second, one second.
But
Keep
so
going.
that's that. Now Juventus playing style. This game, Pjanic out. they don't have that orchestrator in the back in the midfield that's able to move this ball.
Break up plays.
Bentancur's a good player.
No,
My dad
Well,
I think
he got
Bentancur's
better
good.
though.
But he's not the
still,
highlight.
regista. He's
He's
not the
still not
regista.
top.
He's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
the regista. He's the guy that's going to be able to. He needs somebody to give
player,
him the
not
ball.
somebody
Exactly.
that just goes
Yeah.
does dirty stuff.
So I think a lot of credit has to go to Atalanta. Gasperini marked his X's and O perfectly. So just not to jump into Atalanta. Juventus just were outmatched, outplayed. You know, it shows how hard it is to actually win the triplete. You know,
Oh,
the
I
only team
love-
that's able to do is
I
Inter.
like
Okay,
that smile.
so it's hard to get those three
Listen to me.
cups
You know
all
what
on the same year.
I love
It's
this.
a lot of concentration. You know.
Listen to me. Somebody showed me a picture on Instagram. I feel like I saw Spalletti. That's what the first one, the second one, and the third one. So I feel like you screwed up the first time. All right, you screw up the third time. All right,
What are you doing?
The
You come
third
back
one,
to eat
the third one, you out 3 times and you out.
Sure,
You know, 3 strikes and
but
you are
all
out.
I know is the only Italian soccer team to ever win a triplete remains till this
Internazionale
year
Milano.
Inter. I mean, Juventus next year maybe they'll be able to go
Mm-hmm.
for it, you know. But just gotta remember that, all right. And also Milan, they should remember that too. It's very hard.
Wait,
to,
don't get him triggered. He's gonna go crazy. Let's conclude that. I want to conclude with Juventus, and then we talk about Atalanta, which is very important.
Yeah.
Last things I want to say about Juventus. To touch upon what you said, I think that we've talked a lot about Juventus's depth, but I don't think that they have real quality players in their depth. Once Chiellini and Bonucci are gone, the Juventus defense does not exist, particularly in the center of the pitch. It's horrible. The midfield has
Sorry, Marco.
the midfield has been bad enough, but then when you get rid of Pjanic, it becomes a team that's unacceptable, and the attack to not score goals like the worth of this attack should be is a very worrying side for where Juventus to be. Again, not to get overly dramatic or say that I've seen some crazy stuff going around, but there are question marks around it. And like Antonio said, if Juventus does have this arrogant approach against Atletico Madrid, they are in for a rude awakening, and they're going to need to be playing at their best. To switch to Atalanta, who is a team that we have talked about for a long time, a team that we love, a team that we've said many times, constantly best players are ripped from them, but Gianpiero Gasperini knows how to get the best out of his men, and when they play in Bergamo, even it's
almost unstoppable.
It's like you put a battery pack on them where they become even better.
Hello,
This-
English. How many times I've been telling you this thing here?
Atalanta, when this game was before this game happened, we had a friend over here who doesn't watch Serie A, and even Michael asked me what I thought about this match. I said Juventus can lose this match because that's how good Atalanta is. Any other team that we would be playing, I wouldn't have been as nervous as an Atalanta just because they have that X factor and they're really not afraid.
They're not a surprise to us either.
Sometimes
Yeah, we
Juventus
know
plays
them
a
well.
team and you could tell that they're afraid.
My friend Mike just
Atalanta
pulled a
is not.
stat over here. over here. He says, I said to Mike, Mike, how much is Juventus worth? It's over $750,000.
Over
right?
three-
$750
quarter of a-
million.
yeah, okay.
717 million.
just say yeah.
A billion euros, whatever. 717 million, right?
Okay,
Mike?
yeah.
And Atalanta 154.
This is why Gasperini, you have to give him credit. I know
100%.
for a long time we've talked about Gasperini, but honestly, the
Look-
real deal, my applause to Gasperini.
Look how
And
simple
I-
this guy plays the game. Very
Beautiful
simple.
football. Beautiful football.
Pa, pa,
Beautiful
pa,
football.
pa,
It
pa,
looks
pa,
simple,
pa,
but
pa.
it's
with
a brain.
but
easy.
and the key to them is that they're a united team. Everybody plays for one. Where Juventus,
That's the
very
key.
individualistic.
Let me just throw something out.
Just
Marco.
going based off their
you,
skills.
You hit great points, Atalanta. It's not a surprise to us, like you said.
No, it's not a surprise
For
that-
seasons, they've been doing
It's
this.
a surprise that
great.
Juventus lose 3-0, but it's not a surprise that
true.
Atalanta can make an upset because
Nobody's surprised.
This season, Atalanta tied Roma 3-3. They tied Milan 2-2. They've beaten Inter 4-1. They beat Lazio. They tied Juventus. They tied Roma again, and they beat Juventus now. It's not a fluke.
100%.
This is not a one game.
I just want to throw. I agree everything with you said. But Atalanta, they seem to only get this extra motivation for the top 4 or 5 teams. They dropped a lot of points with these smaller teams that they shouldn't have lost. I think they lost to. Who was it? They were up. I don't know. I forgot exactly. But there was a lot of
Genoa, I
games.
think, one of those,
There was a lot of games that they didn't pick up the full points. Right now, they're in 7th place, and they could have been fighting for a Champions League spot.
But more
If they got
still
those
there.
scoreboards
They're still
played.
there, but
Yeah.
No, they're still there.
there.
But I'm just saying they dropped so many silly points
Oh, they're
too.
there.
But right
for a
now,
team like
they're
them.
in the semifinals of the Coppa Italia,
Yeah.
where they have a real chance to win a trophy.
100%.
Real chance.
Not against AC Milan. Sorry.
Listen,
I
but
love
if-
Gasperini. Listen,
you
if,
go-
I gotta lose, let me lose against Gasperini.
okay,
banana.
but my point-
Banana against anybody else.
But my point is that when you beat the champions of Italy,
Anything- yeah.
then you have this confidence where you believe in
true.
yourself
It's
that
true.
you're able to do it. My only thing is that I think that if they were playing every match in Bergamo, I would say that they just give them the Coppa Italia because they would win it. When they're not in Bergamo,
They're more
it's
down
a
to
little bit
earth.
different.
Yeah.
But Zapata, a guy who's been reignited in Bergamo, he's jumped around at a lot of Italian teams. Always that big striker that's able to get you those headers. But even with his feet this season, 17 goals and one assist in his last 10 matches. 17 goals.
Who's the intelligence of that? Is that Zapata, the brain of Zapata? No, it's Gasperini.
It's both.
Yeah, it's
Come on.
both.
He's
It is
Gasperini.
He couldn't do that to
plugged him
Petagna.
on the right position and he
he
told
always
him,
played in that position.
wait, he told him, I said, this is what I want you to do. Forget about what everybody else is saying. Just go there, have a good time, play the game, enjoy yourself. These people like
Enjoy
Icardi,
yourself. What's that to
Icardi,
teach?
Higuain, and all of those people that they have to show numbers. They play under so much pressure.
Yeah.
Well, you have-
Okay? They're stiff.
Let's give credit to
I think Atalanta, you can give credit to Gasperini. I don't know if he says what you just said as far as Zapata, do your thing, do what I
Enjoy
say.
it.
I
Enjoy
don't think
yourself.
so.
Go over there, enjoy
I think-
yourself, have a good time.
I think Gasperini executes his X and O's perfectly. He's a tactician. He knows what he's doing. His formation, he's always relied on a 3-man defense. 3-5-2 adds the width. Papu Gomez is the creative guy. So Zapata is the strong target center forward. Zapata, I've been watching him since the Napoli days. Great physical presence. He's still young, believe it or not.
27, right?
Strong on the
bad.
ball.
No,
Strong
it's good.
on the ball. Very fast for his size. The only thing he was always lacking was the ability to, in front of goal, be calm and just place it.
Decision making,
This
right?
year, you can tell he's been able to get the ball, boom, because he's got power. You saw the shot versus Juventus, unbelievable, boom.
But look who
Kills
he has:
Chesney.
Ilicic, Papu
Yeah.
Gomez. He has such attacking players.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
And he can do whatever
So,
he wants over there. So
Compared to Icardi and Higuain, right?
Yeah.
Icardi, Higuain.
there's one target man. Over there, there's a few.
No, but also the team hasn't been playing well.
That too.
So Atalanta's
Yeah.
playing and
They
they're
play
moving
for
the
one.
ball
The
and
thing I
stuff
love
like
about
that.
Atalanta is that they
Yeah,
play for
100%.
one.
Yeah.
They're all one.
Marco, they know exactly what their job is.
Exactly.
They say Gasperini tells them, this is black and this is white. This is what you can do. This is what I don't want you to do. The guys, they know exactly what's expected from them. Winning or losing, they already know what their job is. They go in, they play soccer the simple way. The guy's not asking them to make miracles. He's asking them to cover their position and to just
Also, the way they work. You see the work.
Yeah.
they
The
work like
effort,
a team.
the
Yep,
effort that they
Yep.
put in.
Yep.
As a
They're
team.
up and down
For the
they,
entire
As
game.
a
when they
unit,
when they
as
get
a
yeah
unit.
when they get the ball
No
and
gaps in between the different.
they usually attack with 5 or 6 in the box in the area. So even against Juventus, where like Marco said, other teams you can tell they're a little afraid or they're more defensive. Atalanta, they
Even
go
2-0
for it.
up.
They go for it.
Even 2-0
and you
up.
can you can you
Even
can
2-0 up.
and you can tell even defensively what a amazing game. Maybe 10 games that they play versus Juventus, they wouldn't play a better game and they wouldn't be able to keep a 0 for Juventus. But this game was perfected. That Atalanta would have been able to score. I would have guaranteed that they could score in all 10 games.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
to
yeah.
keep a clean
Yeah.
sheet, I would
Good
maybe
point.
say one
Good
game.
point. Good
The
point.
way Juventus
Listen,
is.
I like to see this team here. Excuse me, Marco, with Kessie again, with Conte, and with Cristante, and with all of those
Gagliardini.
players, Gagliardini, all of those players that they
other
sold.
guy?
Those guys that would have won the
Spinazzola.
Champions League.
don't forget Petagna.
They could
I
have
don't know,
won the
Champions
Champions League.
League.
Those are some of the
Not
five or
Champions
six
League.
best
Maybe
players.
fourth
I
place.
don't want to take away from the conversation, but Gasperini, a guy that we've had very different discussions and maybe agreements, I'll say, from Antonio and Peter's side, where at Inter, what happened
It
happened.
didn't work out.
I just got this idea of could Gasperini. I think that Gasperini has proved that he's one of the most underrated coaches in Europe, for sure. For the team that he has, for the way he's performing, and to achieve what a lot of teams can't perform with a bigger budget, for sure. Now, I'm very interested to see if Gasperini can take that next step to a big team and perform there. Because tactically, he's a genius. And my idea is maybe Roma at the end of the season. Can Gasperini take a Roma and be able to make them into a top 2, top 3 team?
I'll tell you what is going to happen.
What, do you think he
Gasperini,
can?
number one, is not interested. Okay, Gasperini likes the game. He likes the game of soccer. I don't think he's into for the Gasperini is not going for the money because I'm sure he
It's
had
not about
one
the
said- no
money.
one
It's
said
about
money.
the chance to
Listen
glory.
to this.
Yeah.
Listen to me. The guy, it's like Zeman. Zeman is somebody that loves the game of
If
soccer.
Zeman had an offer from Milan or Inter, he would have
I mean,
won.
Zeman took Roma's
And he had
offer.
Roma.
He did immediately.
Gasperini is somebody that knows how to teach soccer to the kids. He said, listen, guys, this is the game. This is what I'm expecting you to do.
Maybe you
Just
should be with
do
the
it."
Fiji Chi and
Okay,
teach,
just do it. You will be
maybe.
a great ambassador for Italy. So what I'm
Wait,
saying...
Mike and Peter, what do you think about that question? Because he's going to go away from it. What do you
ahead,
think?
Mike.
Well, I first want to talk about how Peter was saying he didn't do good at Inter because he's more of a mid-table coach, and how you were saying on a lot of podcasts that he has a lot more leeway. It's not more strict, so he could experiment with these younger guys. At Roma, if he has one loss, it's gonna be much more strict than it's gonna be at Atalanta.
Yeah,
but
he
I do
also
feel
has
like
much better players at Roma
and I
than
do
he does
feel
at Atalanta.
and I do feel like he did gain a lot of experience. So I could definitely see him taking over Di Francesco's spot if he does leave, since he did gain a lot, and maybe he can look back on what he did wrong at Inter and maybe give it another shot. I'd like to see
If I
it, to
was
be honest.
Roma, I would go for this. Peter,
Why-
what do you
why
think?
wouldn't you?
Listen, I think Gasperini is a great coach. Is he a top level coach? Is
don't
still
know.
is still
To be determined.
time to tell. I think
that's
he's
fair.
even with Atalanta. You see, he has his hands involved. When he had Genoa, he recreated Milito. He recreated Thiago Motta. Palacio played and scored 20 goals. So he knows how to orchestrate a team. The problem is not just tactics. Okay, when you get to these big clubs, you have to be able to handle the pressure, handle the constant media attention, handle the different characters that are in the locker room, that know it all, that think who they are. You have to be able to manage these guys. Okay, when you deal with Atalanta, where they're younger, they're still growing, they still learn, or they have a different way of thinking, it's a whole different atmosphere. It's a whole different
Can he take
environment.
a shot to try to test himself and do that?
I think he does take a shot. I think he would. Is Roma the right place? I'm not 100%
Really?
sure. I think, given the chance, yes, he can.
It's damaged.
But the only thing
place.
is, it's another chance where he's gonna get burnt. But I think he's done enough to credit
Yeah.
himself that even if he gets burnt in
Yeah, I
Roma,
agree.
he'll find another
Again,
team.
I don't
he
know.
should he should
yeah.
go for it. I think
for
he should
some
go
reason, I just see it as a good marriage. And if I was Roma, I would keep Di Francesco until the end of the season, reevaluate, see where Gasperini is, see where Di Francesco did, not get Paulo Sosa and spend more money on another
Listen,
coach.
Paulo Sosa is another middle
Yeah.
of the line coach over there. He just went to Coverciano, took the class over there. He passed. Okay.
No, he didn't.
Come on, with Fiorentina.
Copy from somebody. All right, you pass. All right. Here's your diploma. Here's the deal. If Gattuso will ever be sacked from AC Milan, I will be so happy to have Gasperini.
Would you
I
do
like
it? Would you sack Gattuso for
No,
Gasperini?
not now. And I'm saying if Gattuso ever gets sacked from AC Milan, which at some point in 10 years is going to happen.
Gasperini's still gonna be alive.
Okay, so I would love to see Gasperini coaching AC Milan.
Or like we said, I could see Gasperini as a great role model for the younger Italians, since he does have proven success. But that's all to be seen. You spoke about Gattuso, and Gattuso is who we're going to speak about right now.
Okay.
Now, AC Milan against Napoli, another match where you guys just played each other this past weekend. We saw how that one went. I was very impressed with the way that Milan took the game to Napoli in the previous matchup, and I was excited to see how Napoli were going to respond this time.
Ancelotti didn't learn.
And to my surprise,
Gattuso
with
did.
Gattuso starting, PIATEK,
Oh, yeah.
your guy,
Wow.
I told you.
this was a fantastic display of a Milan who is not only getting the results right now, but also playing great football. And they've got a striker up top who they have lacked in the past, and not to overhype him yet, but that was a world-class finish against one of the best defenders in Europe with Koulibaly, and he was going against 3 other guys from Napoli at the same time. What a debut for PIATEK. What a first start at the club. That's the way that you make your name heard. And my favorite thing was after the match, he said, this is only the beginning. It hasn't even started yet. This is a guy that he's got his head on his shoulders, 23, 24 years old. He's excited to be playing at AC Milan. and he definitely won over the Milan fans for the beginning. Antonio, what did you think about this win? 2-0 over Napoli, the second best team in Italy.
To knock
You should
them
have
out.
bet. You should have bet this
semifinals.
game. You would have got a free pizza.
Okay, listen
Yeah,
to
it's
this.
true.
But Ludovico knew, that's why I took off.
Ah.
So here's the deal. Once you take somebody like Higuain out, which is somebody that's already, it's like somebody with a foot on the grave, and you put in somebody that is just born. It's just like, sprouting out of like
I like that, sprouting like
yeah.
a flower.
This guy here has got a lot of energy, number one. Number two, he takes two defenders all the time with him, and by doing that, he's freeing somebody else, okay? Number three is someone that is not coming from Juventus, okay? And number four is probably the perfect player to embrace Gattuso philosophy. The guy comes back on the midfield, he defends, he does a lot of dirty work. The guy, he already embraced Gattuso philosophy. I said, listen, when somebody is kicking a corner kick on against us, I want you to be on the box defending, and that's what I saw for the first half. So this guy here is for real. He was given the Bible to say, okay, this is the AC Milan Bible. This is the stuff that you have to learn. Those are the 10 commandments of AC Milan. Execute them, learn them, and just put them on the field. End of the story. I don't think he's been asked a lot. I think the guy is going to have a lot more fun playing for AC Milan because he's going to be served a lot more because we have a lot more talents than Genova, of course. And he's going to get this guy, I think he's been built for the big stage. He's someone that I don't think is afraid of the big stage. I think he's the perfect guy that you can plug into San Siro, Roma, Inter, and some of those big teams. I'm sure Juventus, they're going to put their eyes on. If by the end of the season, this guy
Everybody has already.
So,
everybody was talking to try to get him in June. But anyway.
So, and for this, I want to credit again Maldini and I want to credit Leonardo because they already saw the signing on the wall that says that this guy here, Higuain, his body language was very bad since he screwed up against Juventus with the penalty, with getting a red card, and all the rest of the garbage, fighting with the teammates and all of that stuff. That was just a ticket for him just to be detached from the AC Milan, blocchetto, we say in Italian. I said, okay, here, take this and go see your old coach over there, Sarri, and just make him the best coach of the English Premier League. And sure enough, this guy here, he plays the first two games for Chelsea, a disaster. A total disaster. Now, I'm sure it takes time for him. It will take time for him to get into the new philosophy of Sarri at Chelsea, which is slightly different what Sarri was trying to implement in Napoli. But you don't gain the confidence of all your teammates that they have a big cloud behind themselves. You think Hazard is going to be listening to Higuain? Or Hazard is a champion, has won a lot already with Chelsea, and he's on the verge of leaving probably the team because there's a lot of teams that are looking for him. So do you think that Hazard, Williams, and all of those top of the line of world-class players, they're going to be listening to Higuain? Higuain is going to have the card.
Why you going from Milan being
Higuain,
so
listen
much
to me.
about
Let
Higuain?
me finish, please. It's important.
But
Let me
Antonio, we're
finish.
talking about Milan and PIATEK, and
Now we
you
got
took the
Chelsea.
conversation. We're all the way over here talking about Chelsea.
Let the guru
Higuain is important. This guy here was trying to do in AC Milan what he thought he was doing in Napoli when he was the main striker, or in Juventus.
Antonio, we agree, but you spoke about this already.
Well, Higuain is going to
We
have
gotta
to
ban
carve
the
a
word
little
Higuain
niche.
from you.
Listen, this is.
He'll have nothing to say.
Okay, just to jump off what
Yeah.
he's saying, right? I don't think Higuain is 1 foot on the grave, without a doubt. I think Higuain and your comparison to Piontek was very astute in the sense that Higuain did not want to be there. Piontek is enthusiastic and wants to be at Milan and he knows what Milan is, what Milan was at least, and he wants to bring Milan to the promised land or to be able to compete again. I thought since seeing him with Genoa, I thought he is a fantastic striker. His ability, his technical ability for his size reminds me a lot, not because he's Polish, but Lewandowski, Ibrahimovic, that type of presence, okay? He's one of those strikers that you see in the face. He's no bullshit type of striker. You look at him, he wants the ball all the time. He demands the ball, and he's got a great shot, great sense. Those 2 goals that he scored against Napoli were amazing.
One better than the other.
And done against Koulibaly, done against Napoli, was one of the better teams, not versus Frosinone or a lower level team. Okay, he's a great acquisition by Milan. Milan were smart. They said, "Listen, we're gonna spend money on him, but we're gonna spend money now before the bidding war starts." Genoa makes $30 million profit in
35,
in
35.
Well, it's 35 because of right now.
It's 35
plus bonus.
Bonus, yeah.
They bought him for $4 million, so they made $31 million in 6 months.
Decent profit.
Okay, better than the New York Stock Exchange. Okay, so
I like that.
So Milan right now with Piontek,
He's going to overtake Inter.
not overtake Inter, but
He tried to get you
but,
to say
but they're going to play really well. Now it's interesting to see how Cutrone fits into all this, what I
Yeah.
spoke about
And if he's gonna
Antonio.
get a lot of playing
But I
time.
think if Piontek plays, you're Milan, you have to put the better player. I'm sorry, Antonio. I know you love Cutrone. Piontek is better than Cutrone.
I think you already forgot about Coutinho.
Yeah, I know.
That's not true.
If
That's
I-
not true.
You didn't say him once.
That's
you're
not
all
true.
stupid.
What
Yeah,
about
all
what
this whole
about from
time.
Napoli's perspective, guys? Because Napoli was another team where they were fighting in the Champions League, they're fighting for Scudetto, they're fighting for Coppa Italia. Coppa Italia would have been a great opportunity for Napoli and Ancelotti to win a first trophy.
Right.
And against Milan, they're not able to. So what do we think about Napoli and not being able to get through?
They looked so toothless. Their attack didn't look like they never looked like they were gonna do anything. They had the ball, the majority of the ball. They had these runs, but I don't know. I felt like if I was rooting for Milan 100%, I wouldn't be. I wouldn't even be that scared of them. They didn't play well. All they did was possess the ball, and they didn't really trouble the goalkeeper. Antonio
Who are
or
the
Peter,
key
what do
players
you
of
think?
Napoli? Who are the key players? Those are the big chokers that we've been saying for the last 2 years.
Even their
They
defense
choke
played
in the Italian
back.
national
They
team.
didn't play well at all.
Insigne is a choker in the Italian national team. Who else? It's another big choker in Italian national team. Mertens, I was surprised. He didn't play very well, but he came in.
He hasn't been playing well.
Milik
But
not
listen to me,
either.
Ancelotti, I have to give him credit. It was just one game that he was surprised the way because of they were not expecting Milik to fit perfectly in the position that he was plugged
But they
in
played
by
Milan a
Gattuso.
few days ago, so you think they'd
Yeah,
be
but was
it's
not-
fresh in their
Piontek was not
mind.
there.
I
Piontek was
understand
not
that.
there.
Yeah, but
Well,
either
Napoli
way,
didn't play good at all.
You can't just say Piontek was
Yeah,
on the field.
Napoli
so
played
Napoli
bad.
can't
Oh, it
win
was a
the
difference.
match.
2-0. 2 goals by Piontek.
Yeah, but
But-
still, that doesn't take away from them.
No,
I think
100%.
Napoli right now, they've had so many years where they're close but no cigar. They're close but just not enough. They can't get over the hump. They can't win. So it's come to a point where you can lose versus Milan in a one game at
Right.
Milano. That's acceptable. That they're not playing well, that's what's a little bothersome. But I think Ancelotti is a coach that he's going to be able to get this team out of the hump. And every team goes through a little bit of a ups and downs.
I agree.
The only thing is, Napoli right now, it's more to the point of what's next. Because it's come to a point where the team is getting older. There's not a lot of hope that they're going to be able to get the Scudetto this year.
The players
they're
are
out of the
leaving.
Champions League. They're
Coppa
out of the
Italia.
Coppa
They got that
Italia.
Europa League.
What can they really strive for? Maybe the Europa League, maybe inching close to Juventus and hoping that Juventus slips up by some miracle. But it's just been one of those years where they're not there again. Okay, so it's going to be interesting now moving forward. I started to cut you off, but what are they going to do with these players? Are they going to be able to keep all these players again, or is there going to be some sale? There's going to be some sellings where new guys come in, and it's going to be the end of an era. Because I still consider that, even though Ancelotti's there, a Sarri era. You can see a lot of
100%.
the way Sarri
His
played
players,
in
yeah.
this game. And if Ancelotti's going to stay on and bring in some new players, bring in some new
And if they're
blood,
going to spend to
and
bring
spend some money. So
I think that's the biggest question mark to me.
As far
The
I'm
biggest question
concerned,
mark,
Marco.
I think he's right.
Yeah.
Where's Napoli going to go from
But
here?
as far as I'm
Milan and
concerned,
Inter are getting a lot better.
oh yeah,
well, starting to. Nah,
Listen to
we're
me.
not 100%.
Napoli is still second place. Let's not forget that second place on.
No, I'm
on
not
the
taking
top.
anything away
The
from
Coppa
Napoli
Italia,
now.
Yeah, right. The
I'm
Coppa
saying
Italia
for next year.
Coppa Italia was a hiccup for Ancelotti. I mean, they didn't play a terrible game. I mean, they
Yes,
had
they did.
possession
They
most
didn't
of the
play-
time.
But
played
they didn't do
bad.
anything with
They
the
didn't
possession.
convert. They were unlucky against AC Milan in a few occasions,
think
but
they were unlucky.
they did not deserve to win. I'm not saying that they deserve to a better, outcome.
Result, yeah.
But
I thought Milan clearly played
it
better.
was
Yeah,
not the
100%.
disaster that Roma had against Fiorentina. So in other words,
at the end of the day,
Ancelotti
they're both
he's
out.
not going to go over there. He's going to get canned
No,
when he gets into the back
Locker
into
room,
Napoli.
yeah.
So the bottom line is this. Four people. I mean, two teams that are going to wind up playing the finals. So it could have been Napoli, AC Milan, or Juventus. Unfortunately, fortunately, is out.
Now we got. I know. Now you guys got an opportunity to win a trophy. So
Well,
you should.
hey,
you
listen.
should be
Marco
thanking
with those
them.
jabs.
I don't know.
That's why I sent you
Lazio's-
guys. You're welcome. We got Milan, Lazio in the semifinals, and we've got Atalanta, Fiorentina.
Wow.
I'm very excited because we guarantee one of Atalanta and Fiorentina in the finals.
Yeah.
And another one, it's unpredictable. We want to give an early prediction of who gets to the final.
Yeah. Milan, Atalanta.
Lazio, Atalanta.
I think Lazio, Atalanta, and I really hope Atalanta wins it because it will be
too.
like icing on the cake where that team is gonna remain in history.
Yeah.
You know.
I agree with you. I think Atalanta, Milan, but I think Milan wins it.
Milan wins it?
What did you say?
I
Who's
said-
going to win it?
Marco and
Atalanta.
I, Marco and I
Atalanta.
will say Milan, Atalanta.
I'm going
You guys,
Atalanta.
Lazio, Atalanta, both of them.
I'm
And
going with
who's going to
Atalanta.
win it? He
Atalanta.
says Atalanta?
Yeah.
Atalanta?
Atalanta.
Milan.
Milan. I say Milan. I'm hoping
Marco, you look good
Atalanta.
in AC Milan shirt.
No. Don't get this wrong. It's who I think. It's not who I
Oh, I
want.
thought that you already came
No.
on board.
I want first one. I want Atalanta, then Fiorentina, then Lazio, then Milan. Milan.
All right,
I think
okay.
no. I think it would be I think it would be very fun if an Atalanta or Fiorentina would be able to win. Anyway, I wanted to ask you guys real quick to an MVP. We asked on Instagram at ItalianFootballTV who is your MVP. Our options were Piontek, Chiesa,
Of the week.
Zapata,
Of the
and
week.
Immobile.
This
Of the
Coppa
Coppa
Italia.
Italia.
Coppa Italia.
Who do you guys think was the MVP? I'm gonna say just by the result and by how hard it was, I say Zapata. What do you say, Peter?
I have to say Piontek because Immobile's goal didn't do anything because Inter was able to tie. Zapata's goal, yes, it counted, but the 2 goals, but they already had the 1 goal.
Chiesa?
And Chiesa 7-1. I mean, yeah, he's great, but Piontek was the one that's the match winner. He comes in a new team, he
And
scores,
the quality,
and the
quality
goals
of
that
the
he
goals.
scores.
I agree with you, Peter.
Yeah.
I really agree with Peter. I mean, I like him like a son, but this time,
It just so happens that he's a Milan player. I don't know.
Mike, what do you
I'm
say?
going with
Same thing?
Zapata too.
Oh,
It was
Zapata.
it was a tough game
They're gonna
against
say
Juve.
Piontek.
He played so good. He's in the form of his life. I'm going with Zapata.
Let's talk about another guy. Zapata is almost at the Capocannoniere chart, but the guy on top of him is Fabio Quagliarella.
Fabione.
We brought up months ago. We just brought up as an idea once he started scoring Fabio Quagliarella back to the national team, just as an idea.
Mine was more than an idea. I believed in him.
And Michael and I stuck up for the fact, saying that he would guarantee you goals in matches like against Sweden, where you needed to score. Not saying the future, but
Now.
But against Sweden and in those what did they call it? The qualifier things.
UEFA Nations.
UEFA
League.
Nations, whatever it was,
Whatever.
where we could have gone on, he would have guaranteed us goals. Quagliarella today has been called up for the 2-day training camp.
Nice.
Under Mancini's team. They're doing this February this weekend, the 3rd and the 4th, or the 4th and the 5th, 2 days of training for the national team, where then at the end of March, they have the qualifiers that they have to play. And Quagliarella, at 36 years old, turned 36 yesterday, is called up to the national team. First time since 2015 that he's back, and it is very well deserved, and it's a great welcome back for Fabio Quagliarella.
Okay, one thing we're missing in this equation, guys. Can you believe if Cassano will be still playing?
I forgot about that.
Cassano,
Quagliarella.
Cassano serving Quagliarella, he will be like, oh my God.
Quagliarella, he would put a beach chair and he'd
Are
just
you
sit in the
kidding
middle of the
me?
field. He gives some passes.
Cassano will make him score another 30 goals to this guy here.
Mike,
And he
what do
played
you,
in Sampdoria, don't forget.
Mike,
oh my
what do you-
God, hey, who's the coach of Sampdoria right now?
Gianpaolo.
Gianpaolo, if you're listening to me, please. Cassano is still available. He's still available.
Sampdoria is too good.
Just plug him in for 15 minutes, okay? I will pay his salary, but when he scores, he
Me.
makes the team score.
How much you paying
Don't
his
worry
salary?
about
Why are we selling
it,
the
don't
basement,
worry.
man?
I know people.
I know
If he
people.
makes your team scores and win, then you have to pay me back.
What do we think about Quagliarella back to the national team? Mike, give a
To
quick
be
thought.
honest, I love it. At the end of the day, I know he's not for the future, but if you score, you should be rewarded. If you're the Capocannoniere right now, you should be rewarded. It doesn't matter how old you are. He can help the Azzurri right now, and I'm so happy for him. This shows wherever you are, if you're Italian or wherever, you can still get called up to your national team if you perform well. That, at the end of the day, that's what it comes
You
down
know
to.
why Mancini is bringing him in? To humiliate those quote-unquote young players. Said, hey, guys, we have somebody that is 36 years old over here. Learn from it. It's not the age. It's not how fast you are. It's how smart you are.
And you know why? And the courage to be able to not be scared to score goals. I feel like these guys, Immobile, Belotti, they're great players, but they have a fear
Chokers.
when they come right in front of the goal. And
They choke.
I hope that Italy has somebody that could
They're
teach them
different.
how to
They're
score.
different caliber of players. 10 years ago, they wouldn't even be considered national team players.
Right.
Quagliarella, even though he's old, whatever, what I remember now is that every game that you play is at the moment. You don't play the games in the future. You
Right.
play the game now.
Yeah.
There you
Quagliarella
go.
is the
100%.
capocannoniere,
Well said.
the best goal scorer in Serie A. He
Play him
deserves to
now.
play for the national team.
Absolutely.
Even if he doesn't start, he's got to be called up because
Well
he's
said,
the
well
player
said.
that's
Exactly.
good right now in form. He plays.
And Mancini gave him a deal. He said in like October, you keep scoring, I'm going to call you up. Guess what? Quagliarella kept scoring. You could say all you want that 4 of his goals are from the penalty spot. Doesn't matter. Penalties count too.
Exactly.
4 of them were from the penalty spot. Plenty of the other players in the top have penalty goals too. There was one other thing I wanted to move on to. Let's take a little preview of the weekend that we have in front of us. We got Napoli against Sampdoria.
Good game.
We have Juventus against Parma. We have Roma, AC Milan, and Inter Bologna. So a little prediction for Napoli, Sampdoria, which is going to be a very tough one.
Last time they played Samp won 3-0, right? Quagliarella back heel volley.
I
Guys
will
remember
say,
that?
Napoli is going to win.
I think
Unfortunately.
Napoli wins at home. Coming back from a loss versus Milan, they
Right.
have to win.
What do you say?
Damn. They're playing. I think Napoli is gonna take this 1-0 or 2-1.
I say 2-1 Napoli. Do we think Quagliarella is going to score? That's a real bet.
Yeah,
Is he gonna beat that
Quagliarella
Lascaux?
scores.
Why not?
Quagliarella
No, I don't
scores.
think so. Not this time.
No?
Not this time.
Quagliarella-
I hope that would be
Quagliarella
12,
scores.
12
Not
games in
this
a
time.
row.
I
with
want him
goal.
to score. Don't get me wrong,
I
but
really
not
want
this
him to score.
time. Not this time.
He scored against Napoli last time.
Because
From Napoli.
Koulibaly is going to have extra duties on him. So
Roma, AC Milan.
Oh my god.
1-1.
Yo, Difra, I'm so sorry.
I'll be happy again, as I said, it's 0-0.
I say
you know the way my philosophy is, Mike. I always, but
Yeah, the mind games. We know. But anybody who watches our Instagram stories during the games when Antonio's over, you could see we always record Antonio during the game, even when they
No,
were up,
they'll lose.
even when they're up 2-0 against Napoli. We're gonna lose. I'm telling you,
You're gonna score 3 more goals on us.
Milan could be winning 5-0. They're gonna lose.
They're gonna
I'm
score
telling-
6.
This guy in when they were up 2-0, he goes, okay, 75th minute. He goes, if they get to 75th minute, they won the game. 75th minute. No, if they get to the 80th, then 80th minute, 85th, 90th minute. He goes, it's not done yet. 92nd minute, 1 minute. He goes, I think we won the game. Anyway, Roma, AC Milan. I say 2-1 AC Milan.
I think Milan wins it.
no, I think
The
it's going to
way
be a tie
that-
game. Tie game or Roma wins.
2-2 tie game.
Okay.
Tie game for Roma wins.
Inter. Oh, Juventus Parma. Good catch. Juventus Parma. I'm gonna say Juventus need to bounce back. They're in Torino.
Oh, they have to win.
You have to win. I say Juventus.
But
no, they could not win. I'm
But-
not saying that they're not gonna. But
Parma has shown that from time to time they come back with some big games.
they're definitely gonna score.
They have-
Juventus
So,
have no Chiellini and Juventus have no Bonucci.
So I
listen.
will say yes, Juventus might winning 70%, but I would not really I will not sign
I'm with you.
Parma will give 1 point eventually.
Listen, they got Gervinho's good. They got Ingles that's been playing good. They got Kuchka too. I think Parma's gonna get
what's your
a
score
surprise. I think it's gonna be a tie.
Okay.
1-1.
I think it's a tie. I think
Yeah.
Juventus defense right now is a
Yeah,
little
shaky.
shaky because there's nobody
Stability.
there, and you have some fast players on Parma. They can do some
Very
damage.
fast.
So it'll be interesting to see who scores first. I think Juventus
He's
scores
gonna win.
first.
They're gonna
they
win. Juventus is gonna win,
Parma
but I would say-
scores.
Continue with the equalizer.
Could be interesting.
Inter Bologna, real quick. First game of Mihailovic for
I
But
will say
Inter's gonna win this one.
you're gonna win. Is
Inter's
gonna
gonna
win?
win, yeah.
Well, I will give Mihailovic a chance. Let's a tie, another tie.
I
At
don't-
0-0, 1-1.
I just feel so bad about this game. I don't know. I have bad feelings about this
Really?
game. I think Inter right now,
This is my feeling with both. with Parma.
they're in shambles. Their locker room is in shambles.
Mm-hmm.
Nainggolan wrote something.
Perisic wants to leave.
Perisic wants to leave. He's not gonna play. Kandreva can make a cross for his life. I mean,
that's every time, though.
The only thing that I see is Cedric. I was really impressed. He actually made a freaking one-time cross that actually hit an Inter player in the box. It was amazing. First time we have seen that in 5 years. But side note, I don't have good feelings about this, especially with Bologna
Hungry
Changing-
for points.
changing a coach, new coach. Mihailovic is there, a lot of enthusiasm. I don't know. I don't know if they're gonna lose, but they tie. I think Inter ties and Spalletti gets sent home.
Would you?
What?
Yeah.
You're predicting a Spalletti
Would
sacking?
you? Would you? Pete, would you be surprised if
Hi.
Bologna wins over
Stop
there?
recording.
If Bologna wins?
No, I wouldn't. If Bologna wins, Spalletti, I think is definitely
No,
gone.
they're not going to sack him.
I
They're
think
going to
he's
just keep him to
definitely
the end of the season. Come on. What
I
do you
don't
want
know.
from Spalletti?
I don't know right now.
Oh, boy.
Last thing, we say Jovinko announced that he's leaving Toronto FC.
At the end of the season?
No,
Left
he's
already.
gone.
The season's
Oh,
already
he's-
over.
Yeah, he's,
Good.
yeah, he's
I
back.
mean, Let them go.
Listen, let me.
Somebody
I'll
that doesn't value somebody like Jovinko. Come on.
Oh, okay. You're saying from that perspective. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's going to Saudi Arabia, Al Hilal, 10 million euros a year.
Beautiful.
Is he richest Italian now?
No. He's not even close.
Pelé is
Graziano Pelé is
making,
still doing 16 million.
Oh, wow.
And
Wow.
I think Eder's at 12 or 13.
Okay.
Anyway, the storyline here is that Jovinko posted on social media a very long message. Just to summarize, there's been a lot of talk saying that Jovinko left this club because he got a bigger offer at Al Hilal, and that's why he left. But Jovinko says for the past year or two, he's been trying to negotiate with Toronto, that Toronto has not showed that they're serious about renewing his contract, that he would even take less money to stay in Toronto, but the management doesn't value him. And maybe that he was getting older at 32, even though he was still having, the time of his life over there. He said, my son or my daughter was born in Toronto. I wanted my kids to be raised in Toronto, but they're not putting me anymore at the center of the project, so I have to leave. I think it was a very bad look for Toronto, a beautiful city with so many Italians and so many Italians going and supporting Toronto because of bringing Jovinko in and what he's done for the team and won everything for the team. Very bad look for them. On social media, all Canadians were very disappointed, saying they're going to cancel their
Subscription.
Yeah, they're not going to go to season
Abonnement.
tickets.
Season
and
ticket.
all this
Didn't we
stuff.
bring in the Italian national team recently? Mancini brought him in.
Yeah, he did.
A few months
That's what I'm
ago.
saying. I mean, this guy's still a national team caliber
Yeah, but
player.
Antonio, hold on. If I could just
He didn't even play.
first off, Toronto didn't even make the playoffs this year
No.
with Jovinko in the team. Jovinko, even though he says the past 2 years I would take a pay cut. What's a pay cut? 2 million. So you're gonna take 6 million a
I
year.
would have taken even
Compared,
$2.
but I'm saying compared to the rest of MLS,
Yeah.
he's making
Far over
500 times
Yeah,
more
but who watches
than the
it?
top.
Everybody watches the
Okay.
game for Jovinko.
Okay,
I've only
I
watched the game for
understand
Jovinko.
that, but
Me
the
too.
man.
I will never stick
but
with
the man-
watching the Toronto if it wasn't for
Yeah,
Jovinko.
but I'm saying-
now as soon as I see it on the TV, change.
Yeah, but you're Italian. That's why. Because you're Italian, you look at it that way. Maybe not everyone
But
looks at it that
Toronto's
way.
a huge
So
Italian market anyway.
no, I understand that.
Yeah.
But the thing is, they used it as a marketing ploy. He's 32 now. Do they want to spend that much money? Probably not. And he left. I would have done it maybe a different way. Maybe in the end of the season, make it understanding that Jovinko is going to leave and do a nice celebration for him that he's leaving and stuff like that. And you close it out that way. He's going to Al Hilali, right? For 10 million
Al
a
Hilal,
year.
yeah.
Nice summer days all year round instead of Toronto where it's colder than here.
eating gold every day.
So
right?
I mean, he's okay. I think he'll be fine.
No, yeah, he will be fine. I think he just said that he wanted to end everything in Toronto. It's unfortunate he didn't, and I think you brought up a good point. Things could have been dealt with a little bit better rather than coming off on social media. One side Toronto saying, "Oh, he wanted money," one side saying, "I didn't want money. They weren't offering me money."
Peter,
So anyway.
let me just reply to what you just said. I agree partially what you just said. Jovinko doesn't need all of those goodbye parties. Jovinko played for Juventus, played one
He doesn't need it.
for some of the best team in the world. So what does he need from us?
No,
to
but
take
from
Toronto
a
side.
send off from the
from
Toronto.
no, but from a team's
Come on.
perspective,
It's a
you
bunch of
send them off the
losers.
right way. You send them off the right way. You don't have any controversy, and you deal with it like a man or like the right business way.
the right way.
That's-
You're gonna see what they're gonna do this year without Jovinko. Those guys, they're probably gonna hit the bottom.
Well, they can't do worse than not make the playoffs, right?
Well,
They can't go down
They
Serie
can't
B.
get relegated.
There's no
worse than
Serie
that.
B.
They can do
How?
worse
You
than
can't
that. I
get
mean, that they
relegated.
can
They get a
relegate,
top
but that-
draft pick.
You
Yeah.
can't get
Oh,
relegated.
wow.
But
right?
hey, listen, the guy won everything with you. It
No,
should
no,
be
I
treated a little bit better than that. Anyway, we got an exciting round ahead. Incredible Coppa Italia, full of upsets. 4 upsets. If we go just based off where the rankings are, at least some people got mad at us. What?
Upset. So what upset? AC Milan was
Upset.
supposed to win.
Yeah, but Napoli's higher in the table.
So what?
it's
That doesn't mean
technically-
anything.
it's
Upset. It's not
We're
upset.
You're saying on paper.
Welcome back, Milanisti. It's nice to see
Hey,
you
by the way,
guys.
again, our new Instagram site is
What is
at
it?
Huh?
What is it? What is it?
At Italian Football TV.
Very good.
Bravo.
Okay, at
Very good.
Italian Football
There we
TV.
go.
Bravo.
One more time. One more time.
At
The little
Italian
A, right?
Yeah,
The little
A-
capellino.
What about the
right?
Italian people? Chiocciola, you guys say?
Chiocciola, Italian
That's what it is,
Football
at?
TV.
There we go.
Chiocciola.
That's it for anybody.
Cucchiaio.
We did a nice collab with Ciccio Colonese, who played for Inter. He won everything. I mean, he won the UEFA Cup.
He won the
with it,
UEFA
right?
Cup, yeah.
So we have a nice little Q&A where people got to ask questions to Ciccio, and he answered it. To
On our
them.
Instagram, Antonio,
Grazie,
what is
Ciccio. Grazie, Ciccio.
Grazie, Ciccio. Do I know Ciccio Colonese? Not yet. Not
Not yet,
personally, but
yeah.
hey, nice meeting you. I guess,
Italian. He speaks Italian.
He only speaks
Oh,
Italian.
you speak Italian? Oh, Ciccio, molto piacere. So, ti prendiamo uno di questi giorni,
Wait.
vieni a farci compagnia qua al podcast.
Whoa.
Translated. One of these days, you're going to be our guest at podcast.
Oh, okay.
So,
I spoke to him about it too. Peter,
yeah.
you gotta ask him some.
but you're going to
some
be
good
wearing an
questions.
AC Milan shirt. No,
No.
Inter.
He doesn't do that.
He's gonna wear that shirt, right?
Cassano. Let him wear Cassano.
Anyway, guys, as always, subscribe.
Do we
if
have
you're
any
new,
sales,
rate
by the way,
podcast.
Marco?
There's no
No
sales.
sales.
Subscribe if you're new, and as always, thank you for watching. We'll talk to you
Wait,
soon.
how
Ciao.
big did we
Ciao.
get? Didn't we get regain a lot of our viewers back?
8,000.
Yeah, we have
Okay,
8,000,
so
almost
guys,
10,000
we're still
guys.
trying to gain all of you back because our old Instagram is still down and we need to still bring them up. Keep telling everybody that we are the best, not because of us, because of you.
Spread
right?
it like a virus.
Spread it like not a virus, worse than a virus.
What's worse than a virus?
Just go all over and just plug into IFTV or at Italian Football TV.
Tell everyone, all right? Your
Tell
noni,
everyone
your
and make
pets.
sure you
your
write
dog.
it with 5 stars.
There we
All
go.
right, thank
Beautiful.
you.
As always, thank you for
Thank
watching.
you.
Talk to you.
Ciao,
Ciao.
guys.